Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something really important in the crypto world,
Hmm?
especially if you have any involvement with the XRP ledger. It's, foundational technology.
It really is. Underpins a lot of stuff.
And the main toolkit for developers, this XRPL JavaScript library, xrpl.js, it's massive, like 140,000 downloads a week.
Yeah, it's huge. And integrated into, what, tens of thousands of applications?
Exactly. So when news break about a critical security vulnerability within that library, well, it's big news.
Absolutely. And our sources are pointing towards a pretty serious supply chain attack here
Yes.
with potentially significant consequences.
Right, that's what we're diving into. The compromised versions seem to be v4.2.1 through 4.2.4.
And also v2.12.2, those specific ranges.
Okay, so our mission today really is to unpack this. What was the vulnerability? What could have happened? And, what are the bigger lessons here for developers, for users, for everyone?
Let's do it. So the core of the issue, based on the reports, wasn't just a simple bug or mistake.
Oh.
No, it seems this was a deliberately inserted piece of malicious code, a backdoor.
A backdoor. Wow. Okay, so like intentionally harmful.
Exactly. And its purpose, according to the analysis we've seen, was pretty straightforward. Steal crypto.
How? By going after keys.
Precisely. Designed to grab private keys, wallet seeds,
Hmm.
basically the crown jewels you need to access and control someone's funds.
So not theoretical. This was code capable of actually taking people's crypto if they were using those compromised library versions.
That appears to be the case, yeah.
And the fact that xrpl.js is used so widely, that just amplifies the risk, doesn't it?
Massively. That's the definition of a supply chain attack, really. You compromise one widely used component.
And you potentially hit everyone downstream who relies on it, like targeting a, I don't know, common ingredient used by lots of restaurants.
Exactly. And the sources we looked at are calling this one of the more potentially damaging attacks we've seen recently in crypto because of that reach.
And the timing. The sources mentioned XRP was actually doing okay price-wise, around $2.15, $2.23.
Yeah, there was some positive momentum. And news like this, well, it obviously doesn't help sentiment. It can definitely put a damper on things.
Right. It also raises questions, I imagine, about security practices, at the foundation level.
It certainly does. How did malicious code get into an official library release? That points to potential gaps in oversight.
Were there reports of actual losses? Keys being leaked?
The reports we reviewed did mention instances of keys being compromised, yeah, from both developers incorporating the library and potentially end users interacting with apps built on it.
Okay, so real impact, not just potential.
It suggests that, yes, which leads to the question of prevention.
What could have stopped this or caught it sooner?
Well, standard best practices, really. Things like regular, thorough security audits of your dependencies, especially third-party ones.
Just checking the code you're pulling in from elsewhere.
Exactly. And robust monitoring systems. The fact this backdoor apparently persisted for a bit suggests maybe the monitoring wasn't catching it effectively. Missed opportunities.
So for you listening, the big takeaway here isn't just some technical detail.
No, not at all.
It's about a direct threat to people's cryptocurrency holdings. Real money, real assets.
That's the bottom line. This backdoor aims straight for the wallet.
And it highlights this kind of inherent risk in relying on popular software, even in decentralized systems, right?
It does. Decentralization offers many benefits. But when everyone relies on the same core tools, a vulnerability in that tool becomes a systemic risk.
It spreads really fast.
Very fast. And it makes you think about trust, doesn't it? Where do you place your trust in this ecosystem?
Yeah, definitely. So maybe the final thought to leave people with is,
I think it's about vigilance. This whole incident really underscores how critical proactive security is, not just for the big foundations or the core developers.
but for application developers, choosing their libraries, and even for end users being aware of the software they interact with.
Absolutely. So maybe the question for you is, what does this teach us about the level of trust versus the need for constant vigilance in the crypto space? Something to chew on.